Hey, so it's Saturday afternoon, and I just spent like the last 5 minutes talking to the camera, and I didn't realize that I hadn't switched it over to video and that I had just taken a selfie and then proceeded to talk to myself for 5 minutes. I think that's a good metaphor for this day, for how my day is going, for how the day is progressing. Um, I'm working today on my own stuff. Not work, but like I have a draft due to my writers group um, of my book that I'm working on, and I'm trying to do revisions, and I cannot help but think that it just sucks and it's terrible. It doesn't always feel like this. It doesn't always feel like this. And I thought that, but this was a case where I thought it was better than it is, maybe. I don't know. I have a really hard time getting out of my own way. But yeah. So I knew that I was going to try to spend this morning and tomorrow revising so that I could send it out tomorrow evening. And it feels like it needs a lot more work than I thought that it did. So I'm pretty bummed. I'm pretty bummed. I mean, I guess I feel good about it overall because I've been working on this for a while, and this at least this round, this time. So like probably for the last year or a little more than a year, uh I had a different main character because it's a multi-point of view narrative, and like usually the main character is the character who has the greatest arc. And I was really kind of stuck on the idea of this other character being the main character, and I could not get it to work. And when I decided to try it with this character that I have as the main character now in February, I spent some time doing an outline, and it just clicked. It just everything just kind of fell into place, and it just clicked for what this story is, that this was the character, that this is the primary character, and that all the other sort of narratives sort of feed into that character's greater arc. And so that was a good thing. That was a good thing. And I got a whole outline done. And I'm not an outliner. Like I've only ever tried to outline a couple of times over the last year or so, like last 18 months. And this time, and it never really did work. Or like I would think, oh yeah, no, I have a full outline. And then I'd look back at it. It would be like, it would just peter out like right after the middle of the book. It would just kind of like just get really vague. This time I have like a solid full outline. So so that's pretty good, I guess. I guess that's good. But this goes in front of people. I mean, my writers group is really good. They're really helpful. But the main thing is it doesn't matter. Like I get the feedback, and of course the feedback matters, but I have to just keep going. I have to just keep myself going. And that can be kind of tough. But yeah. So I'm doing that, and I'm avoiding doing that because I'm talking to you instead, really. Um, oh, but I did want to tell you about this cool thing that happened, this very cool thing that happened. So, this past Shorty September, I read a book called The Seventh Mansion by Maurice Meyer, and I'll try to remember to link my Shorty September video down below that has the review of that in it. And this morning, like when I got up, I thought it was a random comment from somebody um, named Danielle Myers numbers. And then it said, oh, Maurice is my sister. And thanks for having such a nice review on your video. And I was like, that's got to be fake. That's got to be somebody who's pretending or something. But then I checked my email and I had an actual email from Maurice Meyer thanking me for my review and saying that she, it was really tough because um, in COVID, the book came out in February 2020, so then it was immediately COVID, and so there was no tour, there was very little publicity for the book, and yeah, and saying thank you for elevating this book, and thank you for talking about it, and for saying something thoughtful. It's just really, really nice. It's just what a nice thing. So, I don't know. Has that happened to you? Have you ever had an email from an author? I thought that was really cool. I guess sometimes people have gotten emails or messages from authors that weren't very nice, like when they didn't give a very nice review. I don't think, yeah, nobody really wants that. But of course, authors don't want bad reviews, but well, write a better book. No, no, no. That's a joke. That's a joke because I'm sitting here trying to do this and it is hard. It's hard. I can see where you could give it your all and still it just might not be there because it's so hard. It's also so hard to see it. It's so hard to see. All right. All right. Well, I'm going to quit babbling and I'm going to get back to work. All right. I'll see you guys at another point in this video, maybe. Moxie. Moxie. What are you doing? What are you doing, Moxie? You can help me with my edits. Are you gonna help me get some work done? What are you doing? What are you doing? No, kitty cat. St. Patrick's Day. That's not really a thing here. I mean, you can go to like an Irish pub and it's kind of a thing here, I guess, if you did that. But I don't think so because it's not really like an Ireland thing. Anyway, Sunday. And here I am. I'm working. I'm still working on my thing. I'll show you. Or I won't show you. Edits. Editing. Good times. Yep. So, I read this book, and it's like a fiction book, like a novel that was made up, like fiction, and like so not real. It was like not real. And then like, but the author, like it had like a lot in it. Like there was like it had like characters, and like the author like put a lot into it, like with plot, like there was the plot there, and like settings, and like and it was like really like in the plot there was like the characters were like doing things, like there was a lot going on that I thought was really interesting. It was like very like they would do stuff, like they would talk sometimes, and like there were things going on and happening, but then like it would like change some, and like and then maybe they would like do something that I didn't think they were gonna do, which was kind of cool. But then like also they would do things that, and then I thought they should do things, but then they didn't do them. Um, and that was kind of disappointing, but like overall, like there was like different characters, and like some of the characters like they did do things that I thought they were gonna do, and like it was good because it was like what they should have done, right? Like, and they were interesting, and they talked, and they had like connections with each other, and then but then some of them didn't. But then like there were other characters that I just was like, what are you doing? Like what? Why? I don't. It's kind of that was like that was confusing. That was kind of confusing sometimes, but it was okay. Like it didn't like I think like it's still like maybe 4 stars or 3.5 stars. Or like maybe I would round up like a quarter of a star. So it would be like 3.75 stars. Um because but then also like because the plot was like it was long. It was like really it was like long, but it could have been longer. You know what I mean? Like it was just long, but like and I was reading and I was like just reading it, you know? And then like but then I would get to a part and I would be like there could be more. And that was kind of I don't know. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not that. Maybe not that quarter of a star. Yeah. Hmm. Anyway, I don't know. I mean, you could read it if you wanted. I mean, I think it's good. I think people should read it. I think it was interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, everybody. Well, it's Friday. It's Friday afternoon. That's like the most lackluster like start of a video ever. Like, well, it's Friday. Like Eeyore or something. I don't know. I'm not. I mean, my mood's really not that low. I just don't know. I guess it's just, you know, here I am. It's like supposed to be spring. I have the turtleneck on. It's decided to get kind of gray and gloomy today. Even though it's like weirdly, it's bright and gloomy. I guess it's not like dark and gloomy because the light. Ugh, I know I talk about the light all the time, but there's a reason. There's a reason why, if you go look at the Dutch Masters and everything is about light, there's a reason why. Because the light here it's incredible, but it is also just, it's kind of shocking to somebody who just isn't used to it. And it just always amazes me in spring how fast it gets light. And it is like, it's not like, here comes the spring light. It's like, it's light. So, sorry, I don't know why. I always like it seems like I always eat a snack and then decide to make a video. I'm like, I got a little something. And sorry about that. Anyway, TMI. Yeah. So, I, what, what? I mean, life is going on. It's been a week. Been busy. Work's busy. Super busy. I'm reading my books. I'm still reading Terms of Endearment and The Sleeping Car Porter and The Violin Conspiracy. I will probably finish Sleeping Car Porter this weekend, and then I'm probably going to pick up. I got books. I got books. I got books. Oh yeah. Oh, I did. Okay. I got well, I had 2 books that I pre-ordered before the Read What You Own challenge started. I ordered them before because I knew they were coming out. One is Wandering Stars by Tommy Orange because I loved There. And I'm probably not going to read this right away because I want to reread There first, because it's my understanding that some of the characters in There and there's a certain storyline that is also continued or here or connected to stories in this, so I kind of want to have that full picture, but I'm really excited to read this one. The other one and the one that I'll probably pick up is, of course, The Hunter by Tana French. Oh man, I can't wait to read this. Angelia has been taunting me, rude, with her with reading it because she got it out of the library, and you know apparently said it was really good. So I have to catch up. I have to do it. I'm pretty excited about this. I didn't reread The Searcher before, but I think it'll be okay. I think I remember The Searcher well enough. And I'm not, Angelia, I'm not reading the blurb. I didn't read the blurb. I'm not blurbing. I'm ignoring the blurb. Okay. So I'm probably going to pick that up starting like maybe on Sunday and read that. You know, I don't know why I do this. I guess because I wanted to read it for March Mystery Madness, because I also have another book that I'm supposed to be reading that I forgot about for the TBR spin, the Rick McDonnell version of the TBR spin, because it was 2 books. And one was Conviction by Denise Mina, and the other one is The Family is Kyoto by, I cannot remember the author's name, but I will, you know, and I forgot that I was supposed to read that. I forgot that I was supposed to read that. And then I was also like, why do you need to read Tana French like right now? And then I was like, oh, well, March Mystery Madness is why. Because that's why I'm also reading The Violin Conspiracy, is for March Mystery Madness, which I really had wanted to participate in, but it just didn't, things just aren't working out. Really, nothing's working out. And, you know, I'm realizing also that I'm giving, it's really so easy to put arbitrary boundaries in place, like with the month or the week or, you know, whatever. And of course, partially that's because events happen and you want to maybe align with events, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of like, whatever. I'll read it. I'll probably read it next week. I'll probably start reading it next week. I'll still be reading Terms of Endearment, which I'm buddy reading with Randy Ray. And then I'll still finish The Violin Conspiracy also probably like in the next week or 2 weeks. So yeah. Anyway, the Read What You Own challenge. I have not given an update. I have not given an update on that. And I had not bought any books since the end of December. I did buy books in December. I think I promised you that I would tell you what books I bought, and I never did. And I mean, it's easy to figure out because it's all Kindle books. So if you're interested in that, you can just tell me, and I guess I won't do like a haul video, but I'll do like a segment where I just talk about what I picked up, because I probably am not gonna, it's probably gonna be so random. I'm gonna be like, wait, why did I buy that? Probably a time thing. Probably would have been better to just, but then I think I was like, I'm buying these books, and I felt so guilty because I wasn't supposed to be, but there was some really good Kindle sales in December, and I was like, you know what? It's the holidays. It's Christmas. I always buy books for myself at Christmas and my birthday. And so I did. And yeah, no shame, no guilt. But I hadn't bought any books since then until like I bought a book on a whim because I heard about it like a couple of weeks ago. And that is this book, Shakespeare Was a Woman and Other Heresies. How Doubting the Bard Became the Biggest Taboo in Literature by Elizabeth Winkler. Because this just sounded really interesting. And I saw Elizabeth Winkler on a YouTube video talking about it. And apparently, like, she had written an article back in 2019 for The Atlantic. And then in that article, I think she was actually positing the idea. She was sort of floating talking about the fact that there's the theory that Shakespeare was somebody else, lots of other people. And then she was kind of positing the idea that it might be this, I think, an Italian countess. I could have that wrong. Anyway, I need to read the article. I haven't read the article yet, but, she talked about it in the interview. And I'll link below. Anyway, she's a journalist, Elizabeth Winkler. She writes for The Economist and the Wall Street Journal and The Atlantic and the New Yorker. And this book really is exploring that controversy and why it is, like, specifically in like English literature departments, it's almost like you don't bring it up. Like, and people got so upset when she wrote the article in The Atlantic. I have to go back. I have to backtrack on my story. People got so upset about her article in The Atlantic that she got compared to like a Holocaust denier. Like, she got crazy kickbacks. No, pushback. She got crazy kickbacks. She got crazy pushback. And she said she was like really kind of depressed and down about it. And then she just started to get curious and was like, why? Why is it like this when there are prominent scholars and people in other fields, historians, actors, and psychologists, I think, and other areas who have taken a look at it and said, yeah, no, or like drama historians, and said, yeah, he couldn't be. There are lots of people who think, no, there's no way that Shakespeare was Shakespeare. But if you are in an English literature department, it's like you just don't ever go there. You just don't do it. And so she really wanted to find out why. So this book is not positing a theory that Shakespeare was a woman or that Shakespeare was any particular person, but just exploring the history of that theory. Yeah, theory. She's theorizing on the theory. I don't know. Anyway, it just sounded really great. And I think I may read this for People April. I think that counts for People April, doesn't it? It's about Shakespeare. That kind of counts. I'm going to make it count. I don't know. Anyway. So that's my Read What You Own. That's where I am. I haven't bought anything. I bought that on a whim. I have a list of books that I would buy if I let myself go buy books. But I have even been to the bookstore with my husband, and I have not bought any books. So I'm pretty proud of myself. Thank you. I will accept your accolades. Thank you. Or yes. Anyway, that's where we are with that. What else? Historathon, major failure. Didn't read either of the books. Bit off more than I could chew. Was really excited in January. Always get very excited in January. The challenge that Ben Reads Good has been doing, I wanted to do that one as well. And I was right there with the A's because it was Bel Canto, and I think it was an author whose name starts with A or something. I don't remember actually what the prompt was, but if Bel Canto fit the prompt. And then I was going to have the prompt fit for March too, because I'm reading Terms of Endearment, and I think because it's aligned with the Oscars, and it's an Oscar-winning movie that was based on a book. I think, yeah. And Terms of Endearment won several Oscars. I think. Did Shirley MacLaine win? And I think it won Best Screenplay. Maybe, I'm not sure. I'll have to look. What does it say in here on the book? Just as Academy Award winning motion picture. Did it win Picture of the Year? I don't know. Anyway. Oh. Sorry, I was shedding. So, anyway, yeah, major failure. Historathon failure. Ben Reads Good challenge. Whatever that challenge name is. Sorry, Ben. Didn't make it. Because my February book, I couldn't get a February book. It had something to do with like an illness or a dystopian or pandemic. And I didn't have anything. I was hoping that the Singapore grip would be the grip, like the flu. But it was not. It was the grip. And it was also kind of a reference to maybe possibly a sex thing. Anyway. So, yeah, I always do that in January. I always bite off more than I can chew, and that's kind of annoying. What else? Yeah, I really just wanted to come on today, and I've already been talking for too long, but I wanted to rant a little bit because I have a rant to end the week with. I mean, that's like the best way to end the week, isn't it? Like with a rant. Why would you want to go out on a high note? Or maybe your rant is a high note in its own weird way. So, okay, here's the thing. So, like, you'll probably see, I think I'm going to turn this into a vlog, so probably you've already seen me talking about the fact last weekend I was working, I just worked my butt off last week to get a draft ready for my writers group so that I could turn it into them for them to critique it. And tomorrow I go for the critique session. And it was, I love getting the feedback. I love hearing what's wrong. I know that that's weird, but I like hearing it. Because I'm like, I can't see it. I get so where I just can't see it anymore. And I'm writing, so the book that it's multi-point of view. I think I talked about this already in that other segment. Anyway, but I'm going to say it again. I'm just going to say it again because maybe I don't know, maybe you skipped, maybe you forwarded. I don't know. Maybe you're like, let's just get to the end of this video and see what she's got to say. So I turned that in, and it's like the first 2 chapters. And so it's about 10,000 words. You're like, who cares about how many words it is, Priscilla? It doesn't matter. Well, I have a point. I'm getting somewhere. So now I turn that in, and I don't keep working on that. I won't keep working on that. I have to keep going. And so now I'm on chapter 3, but the book is multi-point of view. And I think I talked about, like, in February, I completely reworked it. I realized that I had the wrong point of view character, even though it's multi-point of view. The main focal character had the wrong one. And so now I'm back with the character that used to be my focal point of view. And her chapter can only be like around 3,500 words or 4,000 words, because I'm getting there. And so I had I've been writing all week. And I had to like cut a huge chunk of stuff that I had written out. And I'm okay with cutting. I'm perfectly fine. I create a file called the dump, and I just dump it. I just dump it in there so I don't lose it if I need it back. But yeah, I'm writing this book, and I'm aiming for it to be about 100,000 words. I think this is going to be around 400 pages. I think I have that math right. Maybe 450 pages. And, you know, I don't really care. I mean, I'm writing this for me mainly, you know, like I'm doing the writing because I like writing, and it's fun. It's like I have a lot of fun doing it. But I do still pay attention. Like, I pay attention to what the markets are, and I try to listen to shows about writing, and I like to hear author interviews and things. But there's a show that I follow called The Shit No One Tells You About Writing. And it's 2 agents, and they like do like the first part of the segment, the first half of the show it's a podcast, is they go through 2 query letters. The 2 agents go through 2 different query letters. It's a query letter in the first 5 pages of the book. And they talk about the query letter and what's wrong with it and how it could be improved. And then they also talk about the first 5 pages of the book and, like, you know, getting hooks and things. And I think that one of the agents had posted something about one of the trends for 2024, publishing trends, and what are agents looking for and what are publishers looking for. And they're looking for shorter books. They're looking for shorter books. This is the trend. They want shorter books. They want books that are 300 pages or less. And I know some of you out there are like, that's awesome. That's great. I like a 300 page book. That's perfect. That's the perfect length. That way I can read more. That's just awesome. I don't know. It's not that I need books, that I don't read books, that I wouldn't read a book if it's 300 pages or less. Because of course I would. But I never, ever, ever am going to choose a book because it has a certain length. And it's like choosing a piece of art because it's a certain size. I just am so disturbed by this being a trend. And it's so strange to me. It sometimes feels like, I don't know anything about the music industry, but I have read a lot about the publishing industry. And I find it very interesting that this is happening. And that also that, you know, writers kind of like snap too, right? Like, you better snap too, because, you know, your book can be long, but it has to be like really, really good. Or maybe it has to be science fiction and fantasy, which I think is the only genre that could probably not have to follow that kind of guideline, because you have to do so much world building. You know, can you imagine? 300 pages. It's just too hard. It's just too hard. This isn't quite as ranty as it was when I was thinking about it earlier, but yeah, I don't know. But I think this is the part where it gets sticky, and some of you are probably gonna like just unsubscribe or, you know, get mad or whatever. And I'm sorry, but this is my opinion. I really think that a part of that trend is fueled by Goodreads, things like Goodreads and Storygraph. I think it's fueled by us. And it's not that we actually want shorter books because we want to spend less time with characters or spend less time in the world of a book, or that we even really mind how long a book is. But I think that the trend of trying to read more and trying to hit your Goodreads challenge number, I don't know how it is on Storygraph, but there's just so much focus on reading stats, like how many books you've read. I mean, seeing videos or Instagram posts from people who in December, will post a stack of like middle grade and children's books. Maybe they do like to read those things. Maybe they save them for the end of the year. I don't know, but I know I've seen it where it's like, or novellas. If I read these 15 books, I can beat my challenge number. And I don't know. I find that kind of ridiculous. And then I also think about the books that I've read lately that are shorter, and I've come away wanting. Like, it's underdeveloped. Like, that character could have been developed so much more. That plot thread got completely dropped. And I'm starting to wonder if that is just all because, oh, well, you got dropped because, well, you can't develop it. The book's getting too long. Me, I have read books where I thought they could be shorter, most certainly. But I've also read books where I definitely have thought either something is missing or I just love it so much I could spend more time. Please let me spend more time with these characters. Please, I really wish that you had, shown that thing. I really wish you'd given us those scenes. I really wish that you'd, given me more backstory on that stuff. And I know some people don't like backstory. I like backstory. It's a difference in taste. I know that it's a difference in taste, but I just think it is very interesting that, I think authors really they have to be so, if they want to publish traditionally, they have to focus so much on these trends. And sometimes these trends, it's like, I don't know, it would be like if Art News put out a, trend for 2024. All paintings should be landscape mode and only use the color blue. It just feels kind of, restrictive. And it's because it's art. It's still art. I mean, even if you're writing a genre novel, it's still art. You're still doing your art. You're still doing your craft. Yeah, okay, I got a little bit ranty. It's not nearly as ranty as I thought it was going to be, though. But yeah, that's my rant. That's my Friday rant. Maybe that'll be a series. I'm sure I could make it a series. I could rant about a lot of things. But yeah, I get my feedback tomorrow. I'm very excited. I think it's probably it's like I'm already making bets in my head based on what I think people will say, but they never, I mean, sometimes that happens, but more often than not, I'm surprised. Like, I'm thinking, are they going to say, this is not quite starting where it should maybe start, or maybe I've got like too many pop culture references. Everybody in my writers group is British except for me. By the way, it's a very small group. It's only 5 people. So sometimes they don't get my references. Sometimes they do. But yeah, it makes it interesting because you got to think about, international audience and all that, right? So yeah, I guess that's it. I guess that's my rant. I could probably go on longer about stats and reading stats and how much I don't care if people want to keep reading stats for themselves. And I know other people find them interesting, but I don't find them all that great. I don't, they kind of bother me. I think it's great to have personal goals, but I just feel like, I don't know. It's not that it feels performative. I just feel like it's misses the point or something. I don't know. I mean, maybe. It's not, because it doesn't seem like it's like educational or something. It's sort of like if you had a goal to learn more about opera, then maybe you would say, I'm going to listen to 5 different operas this year and I'm going to learn everything I can about them. And, I guess that's setting a goal and a thing that you could track. I don't know what you would track. I just think about what else in our lives do we do that with, and especially something that is supposed to be like a hobby or for pleasure. Anyway, I'm just going off now, and I'm just gonna stop talking because the lights, the Christmas lights or the fairy lights, they're not Christmas lights, they're fairy lights, came on and they're flashing, and I'm gonna look like, I know some of you that really bothers you, so I'll hold my hand up here like a feather and and just say, I hope that you have a really good weekend. I hope things go well. I don't know when I'll be posting this. Maybe I'll post it on Friday. Maybe I'll post it on Sunday. Maybe I won't post it at all. Who knows? The world is full of possibilities. Anyway, I hope that you're well. And thank you, as always, for hanging out with me and spending time with me. And I will see you again, hopefully sooner rather than later. Bye.